What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host that just ate some of his birthday pie, Zach, and today's subreddit is a new one. It's called r/JustNoFamily, or JustNoFamily. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Dad hid a little brother, 17, from me, 23, male, my brothers, 28 and 30, and the entire family. I disowned my dad after he hid a half-brother that me, my two older brothers, and family had no idea existed. Okay, the story goes like this. I got a message on Facebook from this teenage boy from up in Scotland who said, "Hello, my name is Jordan, and I think we may share the same dad. I know this sounds extremely weird, and if you don't want to talk, I understand, but I'd appreciate if you would." I wasn't sure what to think at first. I'd have thought my dad would have told us about a baby brother when we were younger or something. After all, he and my mom have been separated for the past 20 years since I was 3. I messaged back. He said he thinks we have the same dad, so he could be wrong. I said hello and told him my name and asked him why he thought he was my brother, to which he then proceeded that his whole life he thought his dad's name was David, insert fake last name here, and that's not my dad's name, and said that my father's name was John, real last name here, to which he said he knows my dad's name, and then he sent me photos of him as a baby and a child with a man who was, in fact, my dad. My world at this point was now starting to spiral. Turns out, when my dad was traveling for work, he started sleeping with this woman in Scotland and had given her a fake name so she couldn't try and find him, as he was seeing my now stepmother for about a couple of weeks at the time. After a couple weeks going back and forth from London to Scotland, he had gotten this woman pregnant. And from then on, he took business trips there regularly for a few weeks for the next 15 years. Until one day, he dropped contact with Jordan. It wasn't until Jordan got his own phone and got my dad's number from his mom and saw my dad's Facebook profile under People You May Know after his phone synced his contacts to his apps. He saw our dad with a name he didn't recognize and looked through his profile to see the family he missed out on his whole life. He saw me tagged in a photo with my dad and brothers that said, "Me and my boys." He saw me and saw that I was the youngest and figured I'd be easier to talk to. I was dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. He asked if it could be possible to meet and that he would be visiting London within the next few weeks. And I said sure, and we met up, and I got to know him a little and sort some things out. I saw him in person, and he looked like a mix between my brother, dad, and cousin. He was, for sure, my brother. We got talking about the family, who he grew up with, and about the family that he missed out on. I felt horrible for him that he missed out on everything from the birthday parties to the nieces and nephews that he hasn't met that are a huge part of my life. He met my partner and they got along very well, and we met up several more times that week. He was in London and got along extremely well and showed him pictures of the family and showed him text from the family group chat. But now was the time to confront our dad. I let my dad know that I was coming to see him. My stepmother was in France at the time with her own daughter, so I wasn't going to upset her by showing up with my secret half-brother. He opens the door to see me standing there with Jordan, and his face just dropped instantly. I ripped into him about how he could keep Jordan a secret, and Jordan tore into him about how he could just grow up not knowing his real name, and that he was excluded from a family he had no idea existed. This wasn't the first time my dad disappointed me, but it was the worst time he had. And for Jordan, did worse. Jordan is now back in Scotland, and I've gone to see him a few times, and he'll come back so I can reveal everything to the family and have him meet them all in person. All his aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, nieces, nephews, and finally, my brothers. His brothers. Sure, I'll warn them first to get over the initial shock of it all and come around, but Jordan deserves to know his family. To know where he comes from. He is the little brother I've always wanted, and he said he was so glad to have met me. Proud to say I have a little brother who I'm definitely going to make sure is in my life and a part of the family. Turns out the reason my dad cut contact with Jordan was because a couple of years ago, my stepmother got pregnant. Nobody in the family knew this, and she knew of Jordan's existence and told my dad to abandon him or else he wouldn't see his new baby. So he did just that and stayed with my stepmother. However, she ended up having a stillbirth that to this day nobody in the family knew about. He decided to just not get back in contact with Jordan. Figured it would be easier financially for him to not look after a son that nobody knew about. Jordan won't forgive him, and I don't blame him. When my nan and granddad found out about Jordan's existence and how he was excluded, they were absolutely furious at my dad. They would have loved and spoiled him growing up like they do with all their grandchildren and now great-grandchildren, my brother's kids. They want to take him shopping for 17 years worth of birthday presents when he begins to visit much more regularly. I myself do want to take him to get things. He's a comic book nerd like me, so I got him a few graphic novels when I last saw him. I'm happy he's my brother. Aw, that's incredibly nice. Very wholesome. Your dad is an irresponsible poo hammer, and you're a great brother, and your grandparents are great-grandparent. I guess technically they are great-grandparents, but you get what I mean. You guys are having no problem making this guy feel welcome in his family. This story's called, I Found Out That My Mom Is Using My Photos on Dating Websites. Hi, I've never posted here before. I was directed here from r/relationships. Some background information. I'm 21 female, my mom is 53 female. I live with my mom while I go to college. Throughout my whole life, she has never dated or had a relationship. She's never even really shown an interest in dating. This changed about half a year ago. She signed up for a couple of online dating sites. She talks to me about the guys she chats with a lot, and she spends a lot of time talking to them. Like, she's on her phone all day messaging them, and she literally loses sleep because she stays up all night talking to them. It's something I've been worried about with her, that her talking to these guys is negatively affecting her life. She's literally missed work and appointments because of losing sleep or getting distracted and being late. On to the situation at hand. I was using her phone yesterday to take pictures as her camera is a lot better than mine. While I was using it, she got a message from one of these guys. It said something like, "Wow, the red hair looks amazing." I had dyed my hair red that day, so I thought she sent the guy a picture of it. The thought made me uncomfortable, as I don't want her to be sending pictures of me to people I don't know, and I get paranoid about that stuff. So I looked at her messages. I know it's a violation of privacy to snoop, but I needed to see what and how much she sent of me. The message she sent to him was a picture I had posted on Facebook of my new hair, and the caption she used was, "This quarantine is making me feel creative. What do you think about my new look?" That confused the hell out of me, obviously. The idea that she was pretending to be me didn't even cross my mind because of how ridiculous it seemed. So I kept reading back in her messages. He referred to her as Marie, which is my middle name. I looked in the sent pictures and none of them were of her. There were dozens of me. I'm a makeup enthusiast, so I post pictures of my makeup looks on Instagram and Facebook almost every day, and almost all of the ones I posted from the past month were sent. There were even pictures of me in swimsuits from beach trips. I immediately felt sick and couldn't stop digging through the messages. Some of the messages were extremely sexual in nature, full-on sexting, pictures of the guy's Richard. There were naked pictures of a girl too. Obviously not mine, but she was claiming they were of me. Her, whatever. It made me so freaking nauseous to read the things the guy said about me. And even more nauseous to read the stuff my mom said about me. Like talking about my red lipstick and wanting to stain his Richard with it. Sending a full body picture of me and asking him what he would want to do to it. Asking him to love my 21-year-old cat. I looked through more of the people she was messaging, and there were 4 other guys she was sending my pictures to. I just put her phone back and went to my room. I feel so freaking sick and angry and scared. My mother has never been inappropriate like this to me in my entire life. I was raised really conservative and Christian, so she's barely even mentioned sexual things to me. When she first started using these sites, she would complain to me about how no one was interested in her and that she wasn't pretty enough to get attention. She's morbidly obese and middle-aged and disabled and doesn't really take care of her appearance, and she has really high standards for guys. Like 30s, tall, muscular. I'm not gorgeous or anything, but I take pride in making myself look good and taking care of myself. I don't know what the frick to do. I haven't talked to anyone about this because this is so insane, and I'm embarrassed and disgusted to mention it to my friends and have them know. I've been avoiding my mom and haven't let on that I know. I told her I was feeling sick so I could stay in my room and stay away from her. I don't have any idea what to do about this, how to confront her, or even if I should. I'm so scared of how she'll react, and I just feel so embarrassed. These guys could freaking find me online. They could be crazy and one could get upset with her and might even look for me in real life. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused and scared. Please someone give me advice if you have any. I'm desperate. Thank you so much for taking the time to read. Alright, there's an Editoroni and cheese. Hi everyone, thank you so much for all the advice and support. I'm definitely going to try and do some of the things suggested. My current plan is temporarily disable all social media she has me on, get her phone and screenshot messages and delete all photos of me. She's definitely not tech savvy and would buy me telling her it was a virus. Reverse image search the photos I know she's using and try to find her online dating profiles and report them for catfishing. Tell her a friend found a dating profile using photos of me and that I'm in contact with the website to find out the IP address of who is using it. Again, she's technologically illiterate. Hopefully that scares her into stopping. If not, I'll confront her with the proof I have. Freaking move out ASAP. I don't feel safe here anymore, so once the state of Modelo virus is better, I think I'm going to cut down on school and just do part-time so I can also get a part-time job and save up enough money to move out. Again, thank you so much for all the kindness. I definitely did not expect this big of a response, so I'm sorry for not responding to every comment, but I read and took them all to heart. If I have an update, I'll be sure to post it. Thank you. Okay, thankfully, they got the advice they needed, and holy crap, that is terrifyingly creepy. That woman needs to get out and get a social life, because holy crap, the level of depravity a person descends to once they choose to live a life alone and without actual contact and just, normal human interaction. For instance, I, a person whose example everyone should live by, went out to get key lime pie. This makes me a social individual, and OP's mom should get on my level. Obviously, I'm joking. It's a joke. This story's called The Day I Found Out My Mother-in-Law Has Balls. I don't usually post, but I have a story that y'all would really appreciate. Grab your drama llamas and sit around, ladies and gents. The show is just beginning. Some details have been changed for privacy reasons. My daughter, a 4-year-old girl, and I are staying with my husband's family. Father-in-law, 62, is a massive psychopath and narcissist, and my mother-in-law, 60, is sweet, timid, and couldn't hurt a fly. She is disabled and needs a walker at all times, so she stays at home. In-laws have been married for 39 years. They are both religious, though my father-in-law recently stopped going to church. My husband is their only child and is 35. Setting: mother-in-law asked to spend some time with father-in-law over the weekend to chill out and relax. Father-in-law suggests they go for a drive out on the back roads. Mother-in-law agrees happily. They get in the car and father-in-law starts talking. What the butthole father-in-law did. Father-in-law quite casually confesses how he's been unhappy for a long time and how he actually hasn't loved her in a while. Actually, for years. Actually, he never loved her. Actually, it was a mistake to ever marry her and have a kid with her. Actually, he married her to get away from his mother. Actually, he only stayed with her because he felt so obligated to take care of her and then later on, their child. And 2, he cheated on her 20 years ago once, and 1 year ago twice. But he's not seeing anyone else right now. He just thinks it's not fair for her to not have someone who loves her, and she deserves better. And oh, if she wants, they can still be friends and she can come round and visit sometime. Now, father-in-law wants not only mother-in-law, but also my little family bundle to move out of his house ASAP. So, I'm kinda freaked out a bit because we cannot move out right now. The wind's changed. After a bit of thinking about it and talking to her, mother-in-law decided she was not going to roll over and be suddenly thrown away and discarded. She's a human being and deserves better than to be kicked out of her own home after being lied to for nearly 40 years. Setting. Father-in-law gets home from work and is telling mother-in-law about what he's going to do to their vacant, old, run-down, and in horrible condition Victorian plantation home. Very minimal changes and fixes to make it more comfortable for her. Mother-in-law shows her teeth. Y'all, this lady didn't miss a beat. She told him, "Actually, no, I'm not moving to the other house. I'm staying right here. You can go stay at the other house. Or, if you want, build you a shed out back to live in. I'm going to be staying right here and you will pay for my expenses." Well, maybe. Mother-in-law stands firm. "No, I'm telling you what will happen." What's he gonna do though? Call the cops because his 5-foot handicapped wife won't move out of their house so he can live the life he's always dreamed of without her? Ha! He's not gonna do crap. He's too worried about his public image, ironically, to do that. I am absolutely blown away by this woman. She's amazing. She's got a good lawyer too already. Father-in-law doesn't know what to think. This backfired on him so bad. It's absolutely beautiful. I hate his guts for my own reasons, so I'm loving watching him get pulverized under her monstrous balls of steel. She's already talking about changing her last name back to her maiden name. Like this woman is standing tall, marching on and talking about freaking traveling. Balls of steel, yo. First off, about the father-in-law, what he did is bad. Okay, he cheated on her and he lied to her about her feelings for a long time. Also, before I play devil's advocate, I must say I'm not excusing his cheating. That's the part where he 100% did wrong. However, the whole not saying anything, not leaving, even though he does love her and all that stuff. Can you imagine being in that position? Do you want to be the guy that leaves his wife because she becomes disabled? Obviously, you shouldn't get married in the first place if you can't handle, your spouse being disabled. But a lot of people don't understand that. And that just sounds like a difficult situation for everyone. However, he shouldn't have cheated, so he lost all sympathy points that he could have gotten. So, go mother-in-law, you baller individual. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.